so many survivors are just in a prison of shame. And if they can realize that they have no reason to be shameful, that their perpetrators did something horrible and they're the ones that should carry that shame. And if they could just put that down, that is the first step. And to be able to verbalize what happened to them, because it was a crime. It was serious. It was a crime. You want to kind of discount it or say it wasn't all that bad. It was a crime. People go to prison.
Yes,
people should go to prison that don't go to prison. So you need to understand, you've got to put that shame down. You've got to realize you have nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, you know, there's a special group out there I'd like to just direct my comments to, and those are the folks that have been abused by more than one person. When you've been abused by multiple people, it's almost like you have a sign on your forehead that says, you can do anything you want to me and it's okay. And that's not really the way it is, okay? And it's not you, it's them. And getting past that is a real challenge because it happens from so many different angles. You take full responsibility for it, and if you take responsibility for it, you're the problem. And that's one of the huge things that I had to get over, that I just happened to be raised in a nest of really evil people, and it had nothing to do with me. I was an innocent little 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old boy. I probably couldn't have spelled sex, much less told you what it was about. I was much more interested in basketball and football, and the games that kids play, and that's where most of us are when those things happen to us. And so it short circuits your emotional growth. And it short circuits how you interact with people. There's a lot of collateral damage along the way of people where you have really bad relationships because of your behavior, but your behavior is driven by all these distorted norms that you grew up with. I mean, what I grew up with, what was around me, is what I thought was normal for everybody. Heavens knows that wasn't the case.
Oh my, but I know those of you that are watching right now, many of you can identify with what they're talking about. And I want you to, number one, go to the telephone and call that number on the screen, 770-300-9828. And there's a caring prayer partner there. And they will pray with you and they will give you scripture. But number two, I want you, if you have the internet, I want you to go on and their website, voicetoday.org, voicetoday.org. And I want you to look at all the activities that they have and the workshops and the information that they have there. And there's a telephone number. Like he said, someone will call you and call you back. Some of you have been waiting for somebody to come along that can help you. And today and tonight, whenever you're watching this, this is your opportunity. They're not here by accident, and you're not watching by accident. This is an ordained appointment from God that's letting you know and reaching out through this camera right now, reaching out to you and saying, this is your time to break your silence, to be free. Just like he said, it was like a ton of bricks that'll come off of your shoulders and off your head when you get free from this guilt that really doesn't belong to you anyway, because you can be a survivor. You can be like these two right here, that just to look at them, you would never know. By talking to them and looking at them and watching their lives today, you would never know that they had the background that they have. But God is so good. Yes. God is so good. We've got 4 minutes. So talk some more about what Voice Today is doing. Yes.
Okay, talk about Voice. Voice offers workshops to adults so that you can teach children, first of all, understand how to protect children yourself, and then teach children how to protect themselves so that they understand when someone crosses their personal boundaries, what they need to do and how they need to react. It teaches you how to accept a disclosure from a child so that you do it properly, so that you don't scare the child. The typical reaction of a parent is, Uncle Johnny wouldn't do that. Okay? That's a problem.
That can't happen here. That didn't happen in your line. That's what they're telling them.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't let that happen. We have we deal with the internet, And pornography and predators on the internet are an increasingly serious and epidemic problem. And when your child is on the internet communicating with people they don't actually know personally, that 13-year-old girl or 14-year-old boy could be a 52-year-old man or a 46-year-old woman. I mean, that's the deception of the internet, where people are able to present themselves in any way they choose without any accountability for the honesty of what they're representing.
Right.
Okay, and so we do that. We have a workshop for healing. Okay, and the workshop for healing really is, one is for survivors to help them break their silence and learn how they can start down the path effectively to heal. It's also for the family and spouses of survivors and friends of survivors so that they can understand how to minister to and nurture those people when they're going through this process. It's not an easy path either for the survivor or for the folks around the survivor. And then we offer retreats, and we moderate support groups. We're happy to open support groups and work with folks to establish support groups in any city across the country.
Right, and in any situation, whether it be an organization, civic organization, a church, wherever.
Absolutely.
You are available to teach and train, and that's so important.
In Voice Today, it really is a movement that is getting this issue into the public arena. That is what it's all about. We, as the Church of God, have to stand up to this evil together through training, through learning, through breaking our silence, through nurturing, through being that friend. We have to come together now and have the courage to face this issue head on.
That's right.
Betty, I'd like to ask your listeners to write down Voice Today, because in a relatively brief period of time, you're going to start to see Voice Today everywhere. And you're going to see images that are going to raise the awareness of child sexual abuse to the point where you don't forget the image when you walk away from the sign. And we want to do that because we want everyone aware. We don't want the predators to have a safe place to go. We want every community to be aware of child sexual abuse. We want every community to receive training, education, and support so that they are prepared to deal with these problems and anticipate the problems and see it when it occurs.